Buenos dias, mi amigos, and welcome to this another edition of. Oh, hang on.
Wait, what?
But Media dos Guerra Semana.
The Midweek War.
Exactly.
It's all of those things.
It's the Zero Pal here in the mainstream media here, welcoming you to this one of the 4 Midweek War podcasts we do, where we cover each of your favorite wrestling shows that air on Wednesday nights. It's a lean, mean podcasting machine this week. We're 2-man strong. We got a 2-man power trip. So joining me from Poughkeepsie, New York, is our old friend, Mad Mike.
Well, hello there, Matthew. We've got the M&M Boys lined up for the Midweek War tonight. And first, we're going to be talking about our fellows from across the border. Down south, that is.
Yeah, Boyle Heights, down south, whatever you want. Anyway, we're talking about Lucha Underground.
Yeah, I meant the border from Nevada into California. What'd you think I meant?
Sounds perfectly. We'll talk about borders later on when we discuss Impact. But that's a little tease for everybody out there. Anyway, Mike,
so yes.
Let's just dive right into things here because I'm very anxious to discuss Lucha Underground. I am savoring every solitary moment of this show because we don't have much time left with Lucha Underground. After this past Wednesday's episode, we have only 2 weeks left of Lucha.
But what a 2 weeks it's going to be, Matthew.
It's going to be full of crazy shenanigans.
I'm so excited.
Of this, there is little doubt. So, Michael, why don't you start us off? Why don't you give us your un palabra, your one word for Lucha Underground this week? And we'll see if it's the same as mine.
Mi un palabra es Dragon Balls.
Dragon Balls!
Dragon Balls.
Okay, that's very nice. My un palabra is medallions, which might seem obvious to all of you, but hey, you got to collect them all. Got to catch them all. And if you do, you get to do something really fantastic, which, Mike, I will seize this opportunity to jump right into my bueno.
Damn it. Okay.
Of all the bueno that there was on Lucha Underground this week, as there was a ton. Big things that were good, little things that were good. This show had a lot going for it. But my favorite moment, and it plays right into the whole medallion thing, was Dario Cueto taking a bona fide gut punch to the Money in the Bank as he introduces the 7-medallion Gift of the Gods title and explains to everyone that in Lucha Underground, we don't do any of this sneak up when a guy's down, quick cash in title match thing. No. Dario's all about that bottom line, and we will promote this match a week in advance. Dario, why you gotta go and make so much goddamn sense? I can't stand it. I'm gonna miss you so much. Anyway, like I said, there's so many good things on this show, and I'm sure you're gonna mention another thing right now. But for me, perfect moment.
Just the whole segment with everyone who had, I'm still gonna call them Dragon Balls because basically there's 7 of them. You have to hold them all. You get to summon the great and powerful Shenron, aka Dario Cueto. You make your request, and then as soon as you make your request, the 7 medallions scatter across the temple again. They're Dragon Balls. But when everyone had to put their medallion into the title, and there was a magnetic sound effect,
It locks in.
Oh my god, it reminded me of when I first saw the Power Rangers and they were given their coins that they had to put in the morphers. But I will say one weird part about it, they should never have Bengala and Aerostar stand next to each other again. Because they look like a bootleg Power Ranger. They look like a bootleg Power Ranger 2-pack that you get in a New York City bodega.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted you to make sure that you call Bengala by his proper name, the Mighty Bengala.
Excuse me, the Mighty Bengala.
He's overcompensating for something, perhaps his lack of height.
Yes.
Well, Mike, let's get into your Malo, your bad thing about
Well,
Lucha
I didn't say
Underground.
my bueno.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, I thought you were just
No,
piling on to mine. All right.
I was just talking about yours. Mi bueno.
You're bueno.
Mi bueno es. I don't know how they did it, but they somehow managed to turn a blood feud into two buddies that save each other, Tejano and Alberto El Patron.
It's an uneasy truce.
And not only that, the Crew and Johnny Mundo. I don't get it. I don't understand how they did it. I mean, I know how they did it. I've been watching every show, but still, I don't understand how they did it. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, like, it is.
It's a logical progression to that point. And those of you who know me know I loves me some logic.
And I like the fact that they don't just like dismiss the history. Granted, they only have like a few months of history that they need to remember, but still, they're like, oh, hey, Del Rio or El Patron and Tejano, let's not forget this, and Johnny Mundo and the Crew, let's not forget this. It's good. Everyone has a long memory on Lucha Underground. They all remember what happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're Malo. You're bad.
Me Malo, where's Black Lotus?
Where is well, I know where she is.
Well, I know where she is too.
And completely absent.
Yeah, but like this is the go home show to Ultima Lucha. I was expecting maybe like Dario after doing the Gift of the God segment, he goes back into his underground dungeon and maybe find the cage door swung open or something. I mean, I want there to be a payoff to this Matanza stuff. I just don't know if we're going to get it this season.
I'm starting to get suspicious too, Mike, because like we mentioned last week and maybe some weeks before that while we are keeping ourselves spoiler-free, we have seen that the people who were at Ultima Lucha for the tapings have spoke very highly of everything that happened and said that everything pays off. Now, that being said, everything involving Matanza and Black Lotus is behind the scenes, shot by Ricardo Rodriguez. And did I just say Ricardo Rodriguez? I'm sorry.
He might be working for them too,
I'm sorry about that, Ricardo. And anyway, the point is, presumably no one in the temple itself saw the payoff to Matanza or Black Lotus, or did they? I don't know.
Well, Chavo and the
we're going to get another. It's possible that will be a cliffhanger, and we will be left hanging.
The only thing I'm wondering is if this was supposed to do with Chavo, and because of his injury, they couldn't do the rest of the story.
I just don't know. I mean, for something backstage, that seems like something Chavo would be able to handle.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. This could, next week's episode could end with the cell door opened or whatever.
Exactly.
It
could end with Matanza just loose in the temple, eating all the fans. We don't know. and then the final week is contested in an empty temple match. And Dario will tell you that he invented that idea too.
Of course.
And who's going to argue?
Matt, what will be your Malo this week?
Well, Mike, I don't like to be picky about the in-ring product, but damned if that wasn't the ugliest head scissors for a win I've seen in a long time by Phoenix on your boy Aztec Pride, Marty the Moth. That was hideous. That was must have been the last good camera angle they had on it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't pretty. I don't think there's anything more that I need to say about it. As someone who has never stepped inside a ring in his life, and that's okay because I'm merely a connoisseur. I'm not an expert.
Well, I think it can be excused by the fact that Phoenix didn't return at full strength.
No, but look, the point is, it was
I'm trying, Matt. A little bit. I'm give a little bit of credit.
It was
because he was still wearing his shirt, which was very awkward for the whole match.
Yeah, and also worth pointing out, Phoenix has now won a medallion twice. Marty the Moth has failed to win a medallion 3 times.
I feel so bad for Marty.
He deserves it. It's creepy, man.
I feel so. He has unrequited love for Melissa Santos. He just wants the medallion with the moth on it. I mean, and plus, he still doesn't know how moths fly.
Like this?
No. That's not how moths fly.
No, I didn't think so either.
Matt Carlins, we'll go to you. We'll be your combio this week.
A combio. You know, I've kind of gone back and forth on this for a while, but by the end of the show, by the end of this episode of Lucha Underground, I was feeling like, you know what? I think I wanted to hear Prince Puma talk. You know, Conan wasn't there, and they had me really built up for it, and Stryker was telling me, we're going to hear from Prince Puma. And I'm like, Prince Puma's gonna drop some knowledge. He's going to say what's on his mind. He's going to say a thing or two and be like, you busted up my buddy Conan, and I'm going to mess you up. And then there's just something like that, and then that'll be the end of it. But no, Prince Puma, this is the running gag of Lucha Underground now, as he's about to say his first words. Mil Muertes comes out and cuts him off. And you're cut off, Prince Puma. It's too bad. I really wish I want to hear him talk.
After
he wins, maybe the last moment of Ultima Lucha will be Prince Puma with the microphone and be like, Prince Puma, everyone's waited all season to hear what you have to say. Oh, sorry, we're out of time. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, it's like as soon as he opens his mouth, wow.
It would be like the final episode of The Sopranos will be Prince Puma. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Very good.
It'll just be Evil Lise outside parallel parking in front of the temple.
All right.
It's a deep reference.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
I hope everyone enjoyed that. Mike, what's your cambio?
My cambio. Give Marty the Moth a chance, damn it! All right.
He's on the show every week.
The 7-man match is going to be a lot of fun. There's still 1 or 2 guys that I maybe would not have in there over some other people, but I mean, I don't really have a change. I would just like to see a different lineup in the Gift of the Gods match, because as it looks like right now, there's only really 3 people I think that could win it.
Who are those 3? Phoenix?
I would say Phoenix, Rick, and Sexy Star.
Not King Cuerno.
Nope. I don't think Cuerno has a shot at it, unfortunately.
Nor the Mighty Bengala.
Definitely not the Mighty Bengala.
Okay.
I mean, Jack Evans winning it would be fun, but I don't think he has a chance. I think he's literally just in there to be flippy.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, Jack Evans has been on Lucha Underground for like a minute. I just don't think that doesn't make much sense for where he's going. But, well, who knows? Let's see, what else can we discuss here about this episode? We don't want to leave anything out. Let's,
do we want to make some predictions for Ultima Lucha, since this will be our last time to do so?
Well, it's hard to make predictions, not knowing what's next week and what's going to be the week after.
Well, we can predict both.
Well, let's save predictions for the end of this.
Okay. Because
there's a couple more items I want to discuss. First, I want to discuss proper etiquette when you are a guest in Dario Cueto's office. and the drink you're most likely to be served when you're in Dario Cueto's office. Perhaps if your name is Hernandez and you're paying the El Jefe a visit.
Or if your name is Fernandez.
That guy, too. Mike, let's put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other... Well, I'm sorry about that noise there. There are no coasters in Dario Cueto's office. So please hold your own beverage for the duration of your time in his office. Do not set your drink on Dario Cueto's office. And now, as I think about that can of Miller Lite that Hernandez was forced to hold himself, I am curious if Davari ever set down his glass of whiskey while he was in Dario Cueto's office. 'Cause I'm curious if there's like a different set of rules.
I don't believe so. I don't think Davari ever sets down his glass of whiskey.
I don't believe so.
I mean, he barely puts it down when he wrestles.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But also, I would be remiss if we didn't mention our other midweek war buddy, Antonio Garza. He said his cambio would be that the beer Hernandez should be drinking should be Tecate and not Miller Lite. To which I argue, Miller Lite is cheaper, and it is Hernandez.
Hernandez is big-time Lucha Underground Rudo, so it only makes sense that he should drink the bottom-sucking, crap-tastic, worst of the worst beers.
I was going to say, he's drinking the TNA of beers.
He's drinking... Yep, he's drinking the TNA of beers.
He's drinking the TNA of beers. I mean... And Miller High Life is EC3. I mean, let's be fair. Let's be realistic about this.
Oh, let's be real, man. There's nothing better. EC3, man. You're living the high life. Let's get one more thing out of the way. What else? I got one more thing for you here we need to discuss.
Okay.
We get to predictions. The Mac versus They Call Him Cage.
Oh, the machine called Cage!
The man they call Cage... Wait, I'm sorry. They Call Him Cage is the sorest loser.
He really is.
As he just pounds the Mac all about the temple. The helpless Lucha Underground security. Suddenly they have security, Mike. They don't just let him fight anymore. 2 guys in Lucha Underground t-shirts will come out and try to stop you. Just so Cage can beat them up too.
This may be like the Mac vs. Cage Falls Count Anywhere might be the match I'm looking forward to the most.
This has great sleeper potential because they haven't showed you everything yet. They keep having these really kind of short. Well, I mean, this week's episode, this match was lightning quick. It was like done, gone. And I mean, they have had longer matches. They've done some interesting stuff. I keep hearing that Willie Mack is just all out. I feel like I haven't seen it all yet. We all know how awesome Cage is at this point. He's one of the guys who just like jumped out of the screen on Lucha Underground this season. Maybe that's a good place to start for our predictions here, Mike, as far as looking ahead to Ultima Lucha.
Okay. So we have Falls Count Anywhere because I think that's what's actually starting next week. I believe they said that would be the first match on Ultima Lucha.
We're going to find
out. Cage versus the Mac. Who do you have, Matt Carlins?
You know what? I got to believe that Cage is going to get it done.
Okay.
As much as they're trying to convince me that the Mac is going to get it done, I'm sitting here telling you no. Months of Lucha Underground has showed me no one can stop Cage. So I think Cage is going to win.
Okay.
And you know what? And in a Falls Count Anywhere match, Mac is probably going through a ceiling or a wall or perhaps a car. Something's bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, I want to agree with you, but for the sake of argument, I will say I think the Mac. Because here's the way I would do this. Mac wins based off something crazy. And then Cage gets up and starts beating him down. And then you have Rodney Mac debut in Lucha Underground, led by Teddy Long. And you have Teddy Long having a Mac militant tag team for Lucha Underground. Did I just blow your mind a little bit?
You did blow my mind a little bit with that one. I wasn't quite ready for that, and I'm trying to figure out how we can make a 6-man tag player. But that idea is eluding me right now. Okay, Mike, let's see. I've got a partial card here for us to look at.
Okay. I mean, I pretty much remember all the matches too.
Oh, good. I'm glad you remember all the matches. The Gift of the Gods match. Who you got in the Gift of the Gods match?
Oh, well, let's see.
fine competitors. Who you
Let's
got?
see. We got Jack Evans. We got Aerostar. We have the Mighty Bengala, Sexy Star, Big Rick, Phoenix, and
Jack Evans.
Did I say Jack Evans?
Not sure.
No, King Cuerno. King
Cuerno. Okay.
Okay. Out of those, God, I really want to say Sexy Star. Only because that belt is so large, for her to be disproportionately carrying it would be amazing.
It's the kind of match that kind of sets up as one that's kind of built for her to win, isn't it? Where, like, you've got a lot of guys who could do a lot of moves to each other, and you can kind of sneak in and do something and get the win. I'm going to go with Phoenix because it only makes sense that he should be hovering near that title picture just in case your boy Big Mill gets it done.
Okay, so you're already plotting Phoenix versus Mill again.
I mean, who doesn't want to see it? And these two seem destined to just fight forever.
Okay, very very Batman and Joker of you. I like it.
Yeah, why not? Or Steen Generico, whatever you like to do. Let's go with let's check it on Drago versus Hernandez. Who you like? And the loser goes to TNA match.
And this is a Believers Backlash match, Matt Carlins.
That's right. I completely forgot to mention this, that Lucha Underground's now lifting ideas from TNA and using them as their own.
That wasn't the only idea they lifted, too. The Battle Royal that ends in a one-on-one match.
That's a pretty good idea, too.
I've seen that before, too.
But hey, it's on Lucha Underground, so it's the greatest thing we've ever seen. We admit it. It's hard.
Yeah, but at least Dario Cueto prefaced that beforehand. Like, he gave a reason for it, as opposed to it just randomly happening in TNA. But anyway, Believers Backlash match, Fernandez versus Drago. Who you got?
I don't think there's any doubt that Supermax is going out on his rear end, and Drago's going to win.
You know, I'm wondering about this. Because it seems too obvious. It seems too obvious to me, and I think, you know what, Drago's probably still going to win, but I don't know. It seems very suspect that Dario Cueto would put Hernandez in such harm's way like that when he knows Drago's a crowd favorite. And as we all know, Dario hates crowd favorites.
You might have a point. Maybe there'll be a twist.
I could definitely see some kind of a twist happening.
All right, pretty good. All right, let's move on to, well, this will be the big one. One of the big ones. Alberto El Patron versus Johnny Mundo. The WWE rematch that you want to see more than anything else you ever thought you'd ever want to see these two fight again. This thing has kind of cooled off a little bit.
Are you surprised this isn't a gimmick match?
I'm surprised they haven't added something to it yet.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these matches seem like you're gonna get face wins, but Lucha's Lucha. You really don't know which way they're gonna go with a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, there's no real. They're doing a really good job of not tipping their hand. You're not seeing that that typical go home kind of match where you're like, oh, he won. He must be losing at the Ultima Lucha. We're in such uncharted territory. It's hard to tell.
They're mostly doing that. I'll get to one. I don't think they're doing that in a few minutes. But I think El Patron is gonna take this one. I have a feeling that Johnny's gotten although I love Johnny's heel wrestling style now, it's really really good. The stuff that he does now, he seems more at home. When he was doing the dirt sheet with the Miz, only amplified by a lot.
Yeah, I think all this time, El Patron is supposed to be Lucha Underground's big star, right? I mean, he's the guy that they forked over all this cash to bring him in so he could be there, one of their big names. And they really haven't gone all the way with him with anything. I'm like, this has to be their big chance to just showcase him and be like, this is going to be one of our main guys as we look ahead to a hypothetical, hopeful Season 2 that Alberto will be a big part of that. Let's shift to. All right, this is the one. This is a bit of a weird matchup just because of circumstances. Blue Demon Jr. versus Tejano. Tejano has my heart right now. There's something about him. I definitely see why he's been so big in Mexico. It's starting to shine through. The more he's on TV, the more you start to get attached to him. And I'm really ready to see him win. And, well, Blue Demon Jr. is kind of in this match by necessity, Mike. We know a little bit too much about kind of what's going on behind the scenes. So let's just go with Tejano and move on.
Well, I mean, they did show it on camera, too. So, I have a feeling there's not going to be a winner for this match. I have a feeling this is where our caged freak Matanza shows up. I think they're going to change the story in which Chavo set them both up.
Okay.
To be fed to a giant cage monster that's just going to come out and destroy both of them so Chavo can say, I am Mexico!
Yo soy Mexico!
No, I am, because he's from Texas.
Right.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, 2 more matches to go here. Pentagon Jr. versus Vampiro.
3 more matches, sir.
What's the 3rd match?
Trios tale.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Pentagon Jr. versus Vampiro.
All right. Do we see the Master?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Does Vampiro get his arm broken?
Oh man, this is tough because you have Vampiro participating in a match, but he's also a commentator. And I don't know how Lucha's going to play that off.
Yes, but fortunately, this is Ultima Lucha, so they won't need him for a while, so they can do literally anything they want to him.
I'm a little scared with a lot of matches with Matt Striker alone doing commentary by himself.
This could be the second to last match, and Striker could end up calling the main event with Dario doing color.
Oh, don't tease me like that, Matt Carlins. All right, I'm gonna say Vampiro wins, but gets attacked by the Master after the match. How about you, Matt Carlins?
I'm gonna say Pentagon Jr. wins, and I'm afraid that this is going to conflict with something that's already happened. Did we eliminate the possibility? I know what you're saying. Did we eliminate the possibility that Vampiro could be the Master?
I would say so because, I mean, unless we're playing a dual identity thing where Ian Hodgkinson's the one on commentary and Vampiro's been playing Shadow Master the entire time.
Because if Pentagon Jr. beats Vampiro, then he has proven himself to the Master by beating the Master, and it gets complicated. Anyway, I just think that's a possibility that's still floating out there. Although I'm not sure if maybe that's something that's been kind of eliminated as a possibility for this. But I'm still holding on to that possibility.
I think that would be super interesting because then you'd actually have a heel on commentary. Like, you'd actually have Vampiro being a straight heel on commentary as Pentagon's Master, and you could have Stryker be disgusted with him, but then you verge into the heel Michael Cole territory, and no one wants to go back that route. Yeah,
and like Vampiro's kind of vibe on commentary is so good, you almost don't want to mess with that. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? We will see the Master. That's one thing.
I still think the Master might be Conan. I still think the Master might be Conan.
That'd be good. But,
because with Pentagon, like with Vampiro talking smack about Conan the entire time, like if those have been the seeds, and that's the reason that Pentagon's Master told him to go after Vampiro. I mean, conveniently, Conan's not going to be around for the main event. It's super convenient.
Do you have any idea where Pentagon Senior is right now? Could it be Pentagon Senior? Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
Who do you like in the Trios title match?
The Trios title, I got Team Defunct Trios.
I think so, too.
Yeah, the Disciples of Death, the Electric Ninjas, they're fun, but do we have even names for them individually yet? They've only had really one match.
I believe they did give them names. I can't remember them, but it took me a while with the crew, too, so...
Well, now you only have
I learned their names, and then they ate one of them. Anyway, let's move on.
Yes.
And let's talk about the main event. Prince Puma versus Mil Muertes. What do you think?
See, this one I think they kind of tipped their hand. Because Prince Puma was way too dominant at the end of this week's show.
Mm-hmm.
He was way too dominant. Like we've seen Mil Muertes come back from a lot, but I guess when he wears a power suit, he just loses all ambition.
The pleats restrict his movements, and he can't get around. Yeah, I know, it's getting a little bit suspicious, but it's weird. Can you really end this whole season with like your top good guy losing the title? I just don't know.
Absolutely.
But it just feels like they've put way too much into Mil Muertes to turn back now.
I mean, unless Matanza goes after Mil Muertes. Honestly, I think that's the only way you can legitimately leave with Puma as the champion. I think Muertes has this. Yeah, they've been pushing it too much. Like they invested a death and a resurrection in this character. I mean, that's a lot.
No doubt. All right, let's hit the exit right now. Mike, quickly, tell me where you rank Lucha Underground among the 4 wrestling television programs on Wednesday night.
I'm going to give it a hesitant number 2, because although the Gift of the Gods was awesome, a lot of the rest of the show was just kind of like a setup for Ultima Lucha. And granted, great setup, but there was more story development on one of the other shows, and I thought it brought everything together a little bit more cohesively. How about you, Matt?
That's very interesting, Mike. Lucha's number 1 this week in my book, and it's not even close in my eyes. So
really?
I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through the rest of the programs here. This is how it works, folks. We record 4 midweek war podcasts. 1 for Lucha Underground, 1 for NXT, 1 for Ring of Honor, and 1 for Impact. That's right. That way you can listen to them all, or just 1 or 2. It's like a Kit Kat bar. Get it? Okay, so you go find us on your favorite podcast source, wherever finer podcasts are sold. Get us, subscribe, rate, do all that good stuff. Give us the love so we can keep giving it to you. And if you got any problems locating how to subscribe, go to WrestlingMayhemShow.com. Matt and Mike, anything before we hit it?
If you're listening to this and you want to hear more from us, this Tuesday, we are going to have on the Indie Mayhem Show and on the Wrestling Mayhem Show proper, Lucha Underground producer, Krista Joseph. You might also know him as Big Dick Johnson from WWE. We're going to be sitting down with him for, I think, a good solid hour and a half, 3 hours. I don't know how long, but we're going to be talking about everything Lucha Underground related. And we may even ask him who were the contractors that rebuilt Dario's window.
I'm going to ask him why there are no coasters in Dario's office. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, yes, thanks for mentioning that, Mike. Everyone should definitely make sure you tune in to the Wrestling Mayhem Show on Tuesday night, live around 9 o'clock, live.sorgatronmedia.com. Get in that chat room. You'll be able to ask questions, too. Chris is a really cool guy. He's a great friend of the Midweek War, and we love him, too.
And also, if you do have questions for Krista Joseph, email them to Good times
at
WrestlingMayhemShow.com.
Excellent. Another great way to interact or shoot at Mayhem Show on the Twitters. So many ways to interact. Get a load of all that stuff. We are way out of time. We got more work to do, so we will say goodbye for this edition of La Media Dos Guerra Semana.
The Midweek War!